Have you ever pushed a door open or kicked a ball across a field? Seems pretty simple, right? Well, behind those everyday actions is one of the most fundamental ideas in the entire universe: force. So, let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the invisible rules that make everything move.
Here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the absolute basics, then we'll check out the different kinds of forces, see what happens when they face off against each other, and finally, we'll get into the 3 universal laws that tie this whole thing together. All right, first things first. What exactly is a force? When you boil it all down, it's really about 2 simple things that we do all day, every day. At its heart, a force is simply a push or a pull. That's it. But don't let that simplicity fool you, because that simple action is incredibly powerful. It's what gets things moving, what changes their speed, what makes them turn. It can even change an object's actual shape. It's pretty much the engine behind all movement in the universe. Just think about all the things a force can do. It can start something moving from a complete standstill, like giving a toy car a shove. It can stop something in its tracks, like a goalie catching a soccer ball. It can make things speed up or slow down, change direction completely, and even squish something into a new shape, like a piece of modeling clay in your hands. So let's start with the forces that are the most familiar to us, the ones we can actually feel. We call these contact forces, and the name says it all. They happen when things physically touch each other. And you see these contact forces everywhere. There's the muscular force you use to lift a heavy bag. There's the frictional force your bike brakes use to slow you down. The table pushing back up on a book? Yep, that's a force. We call it the normal force. A parachute catching the wind? That's air resistance. And the tug you feel on a kite string? That's tension. The one thing they all have in common? They require direct physical contact to work. Okay, but here's a thought puzzle for you. How does an apple fall from a tree? I mean, nothing is touching it to pull it down, right? This leads us to a whole other, kind of spooky category of forces, the ones that act like invisible puppet strings across empty space. These are the unseen influencers. Gravitational force is the Earth's constant invisible pull on you, me, and everything else. Magnetic force is what makes a magnet leap across your table to snap onto the fridge. And you know that cool party trick where you rub a balloon on your hair and it sticks to the wall? That's electrostatic force. No touching required for any of them. So we know what forces are. But what happens when you have more than one force acting on an object at the same time? Well, it turns into a kind of cosmic tug of war, and there are only 2 ways it can end. On one side, you've got balanced forces. They're equal in strength and pulling in opposite directions. The result? A total stalemate, no change in motion. But when the forces are unbalanced, when one side is stronger than the other, that's when things get interesting. That's when you get movement, you get a change in speed, you get a clear winner in the tug of war. Just picture that rope, with both teams pulling with the exact same amount of oomph. That rope is held perfectly still, right? It's in equilibrium. The forces are balanced, so nothing moves. But the second one team pulls just a little bit harder, the forces become unbalanced, and that rope starts to move. Okay, so we've got this constant clash of forces all around us. We can see what happens. Either things stay still or they move. But how can we actually predict what's going to happen? For that, we need to open up the Universal Rulebook for Motion, written more than 300 years ago by the one and only Sir Isaac Newton. Newton gave us 3 laws that explain, well, pretty much everything about motion. The first law is all about inertia. Basically, stuff likes to keep doing whatever it's already doing. The second law is this amazing mathematical key that connects force, mass, and acceleration. And the third law shows us that the universe is all about pairs. For every single action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, always. And here it is, Newton's second law. Force equals mass times acceleration. It might look like just 3 little letters, but this equation is a cornerstone of all physics. It's the exact recipe that tells you how much force you need to get an object of a certain mass to speed up. It's the bridge between a cause, the force, and its effect, the acceleration. And I promise you, you have felt this equation in your daily life. Just imagine pushing a shopping cart. An empty one is easy, right? But now picture that same cart loaded up to the brim. To get that heavy cart moving at the same speed as the empty one, you've got to push way, way harder. More mass needs more force for the same acceleration. It's that simple, and it's that profound. And that really brings us full circle. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you are living inside this incredible web of forces. The friction between your shoes and the sidewalk is what lets you walk. Gravity is what keeps you from floating away. A car's engine generates force to get you down the road, and literally any sport you play is just a fantastic display of muscular force. These forces are everywhere, all the time.
So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you see something move, or stop, or change direction, just pause for a second. Now that you know the rules of the game, ask yourself, what unseen forces are shaping the world around me in this very moment?